Hello folks, and welcome to the Series 3 of Absolute Match Fishing. My name's Matt Godfrey and you join me here today at the beautiful Partridge Lakes fishery near Warrington. With me I've got two superstars from the angling world. The first one is Adam Wakelin. He's an unbelievable talent on commercial fisheries throughout the UK and has countless festival wins under his belt. The next talent I've got with me is Mr. Neil McKinnon, another exceptional angler that takes commercial fisheries apart. Let's go and see what they're going to show us today. Good morning boys, how are we doing?
Morning Matt.
Confident?
Morning Matt.
Ready for it?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, looks like a nice day.
Hopefully we've got a lovely day for it. Right, now it's time for the all-important draw. We're going to do it a little bit less conventional to a normal match. And we've got the magic stone. Now, I'm going to hide the stone behind my back, give it a little shuffle, and whoever picks the hand with the stone in gets the choice of pegs. Are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Right, we'll give him a little shuffle. Now, which one we having?
I'm going to go for this one.
Well, hey, Neil's got the stone. So, what peg are we having, Neil?
Well, we've got a choice of 10 or 12. Adam wanted to go on 10, so I'll go on 10.
Right, Neil's on 10, and I'm sure, Adam, you're going to say that's the best
It
peg.
is, Matt. 10 is the best peg.
Right. Well, I'm going to be interrupting you during the match. Come and find out your little secrets, tricks of the trade, and hopefully we can show the people back home how to catch plenty of fish. Let's go and get set up, shall we?
See you later then.
See you later, mate.
In the world of match fishing, there are endless variations of methods and techniques that we use to catch fish. Now today, our two expert anglers are going to look at both pole and running line tactics. Hopefully they'll catch plenty of fish and give away lots of tips on feeding, presentation and other important aspects. I'm dead excited for it. Let's go and see. Now, we're just 5 minutes before the all-in. Both anglers are still just about ready. Neil's just setting a few last-minute rigs up. Seems to be getting a little bit twitchy. I don't know if the nerves are getting to him. Adam's chilled out, having a look at his peg, trying to spot an odd fish on the top maybe. They've both got a different attitude towards it. That's obvious from watching them. I don't really know who my money's on at the minute. I've fished with both these anglers and they're both incredibly different. Neil's steady away, takes things slowly, and you think at the end of a match you think, oh, I've beat him, yeah, and then he lifts his net out and he'll have £100 a great big fish in his net that you've not seen him catch. I don't know how he does it, but maybe he'll do that today. Adam on the other hand is incredibly efficient. He's very quick, lands fish quickly, he's good at angling his gear, incredibly smooth, so it could go anyway. I'm excited to see what's happening and I'm sure we'll have an excellent match.
Come on, Neil.
Right folks, we're about to get the match underway. Both lads are just about ready to go. I'm going to give them the all-in shout in a minute's time or so. This is actually the first of 6 episodes of Absolute Match Fishing. 5 of them are exciting head-to-heads just like this, with one final right at the end where the anglers will be fishing for this, the Absolute Match Fishing Cup. Now they both look about ready to go. I'm going to give them the all-in shout in a few seconds time. Are we ready boys?
Yeah.
All in!
Neil won the stone draw, shall we say. You know, all the locals say that peg 10's perhaps for the best peg on the lake, but got plenty of room. So, you know, anything can happen.
Well, I've never been to the lake before, but it looks a good peg. It's the type of peg you'd pick on a lake. It's out on a point, it's got plenty of open water. I've got a lovely margin to my right, but I think both the pegs look pretty fair, to be honest.
Mainly my tactics today are going to be short meat, up and down, shallow and on the deck. and waggler with meat and pellets and take it from there.
I know Adam will fish similar in a positive manner, but maybe different tactics. So I'm going to fish long on the bottom and shallow with pellets on the pole, a short line with meat and an edge line down there, hoping later on to catch some bigger fish. And I'm also going to fish a waggler at times to try and catch fish shallow up in the water, but predominantly I want to try and catch them on the pole today.
I'm here with Neil, folks. He started the match and looks like he's fishing shallow with pellets, and you've got a good fish on there, Neil, haven't you?
Yeah, I've just started and feeling my way into it, but so far, I mean, I've only been fishing a few minutes and it's a bite of chuck. There's that many fish out there.
Oh, we've
mainly
got a chub.
silverfish. Yeah, mainly silverfish, chub. So far I've had a chub, a skimmer, a roach and an F1.
A proper mixed bag then.
Yeah.
That's a lovely fish there,
Yeah,
Neil.
lovely fish.
Right, and how have you actually started the match? How have you kicked your peg off
Right,
to
well,
settle in?
because I think it's going to be a positive day. It is a match, but there's only 2 of us, and there's some other anglers on the lake. But what I've done is I've put 1 pot of bait in down the edge, because I think if it's going to be really prolific, you'll catch the big ones down the edge, and the sooner they come, the better.
Right,
So,
right.
on the basis of nothing ventured, nothing gained, Matt,
Yeah.
and being ultra positive, that's what I've done. And I've also fed some meat and m.a.p at 4 and 5 metres.
Right. What's that sort of the bottom of the first shelf kind of thing, is it?
Yeah, 5 metres is almost at the bottom of it, and when I said 4 metres as well, just it's 6 inches shallower, and
Okay.
sometimes you can catch them literally right up the shelf. And straight away there, look, I've gone back out, a little fish straight away.
Right. But I mean, even the silverfish you're catching, they're quite chunky
Quality
fish, aren't they?
Yeah, the quality fish, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, in my experience, a lot of people associate pellets with just catching carp and F1s, but already you've got a chub, a roach, skimmers.
Yeah. Got a little roach here, look.
Let's have a little look at your rig, Neil. Yeah, let's have a look.
Right, what I've got is an 18 hook, a banded pellet on an air rig,
Okay.
3 number 10 shot and a dibber float, and a fairly shortish line to the float,
Okay.
and it's about 15 inches deep.
Lovely, nice and simple.
It
And
does-
it's
yeah.
certainly working today, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, you don't get any simpler than that really, there's nothing complicated about it, and just lifting and dropping your float all the time, and as you can see, I'm just shipping my pole out, lining it up with those that angler to the opposite of me, slightly to the left where them yellow flants are.
You're
And,
into a fish already.
Yeah, we'll give them pellets, they can have them for nothing.
And I notice when you say you're moving the bait all the time, every time you ping a few pellets, you seem to lift your rig out and drop it back in right on top of them. So I take it that's to try and get your hook bait falling with the feed.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, what we're doing is we're mimicking the hook bait, the loose feed falling through the water.
Right.
I mean, there's a quality roach. So what you're doing is you're trying to be accurate with your feed. Yeah, I mean, look at that for a roach.
That's a beautiful fish, Neil, isn't it?
Yeah,
On pellet, fish shallow.
yeah. It's a bit. It's not very classic roach fishing, but there's that many fish there. They're ravenous for bait.
Yep. And it's another probably 8 or 10 ounce towards your final weight. So
Yeah, 8 ounce. Yeah, they all count. As Tommy would say, come back with a fish every time.
too right.
You won't
too
go
right.
far wrong. So it's going to be a busy day today.
I'm going to say you've already started to amass a weight, so I'm excited to see what's in the nets at the end. We better get a crane on order to lift them out, hadn't we?
Well, I won't go so far as that yet, but I think today this is just steady away putting fish in the net. But what we're going to have to move on to later on, I suspect, is it'll be about who catches the quality fish. Because if you say you get an hour and a half to the end
Yeah.
and somebody's edge bag comes alive, then all what you've caught now early on could, you know, I wouldn't say it'll be a waste of time, but it could easily be wiped out.
Right, so this is a nice way to put a few fish in the net, start your match while your other swims are sort of settling and you're priming them.
Yeah, you're feeling your way into your peg.
Okay. Right folks, I've just left Neil, I've come to have a word with Adam, see what he's doing. Now, he started on a waggler, but how's it going on the waggler, Adam? Are you catching some, or how do you feel?
It's not right, Matt, really. There's been caught an odd fish, but you can just tell it's not. It just don't seem right.
Right. I mean, what are you doing? Are you going to think about changing, or?
Yeah, well, I've been feeding meat short, hoping to catch them up and down. So,
Yeah.
should we have a look?
Let's definitely have a look. Neil's got off to a good start, so...
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
No pressure, but you're going to catch him up?
We hope so.
You say you've been priming this
Yeah,
time
just been
already?
feeding 4 or 5 cubes, Matt. Nice and steady. Bit of emp as well.
Bit of a combination on the go.
Just feeding some emp at top, and hopefully later on something bigger will settle on it.
Nice.
We're going to start shallow. Probably is about 5 or 6 foot there.
I mean, you're not fishing ridiculously shallow there, are you?
No, sort of what we call deep shallow.
Right, deep shallow.
Yeah, deep shallow.
So what will that be? Just sort of half depth?
Yeah, it's probably half depth, I should say.
Nice. I can see that when you put your rig in, then you sort of flick it out past,
Yeah,
just past
yeah.
where you're feeding. What's that? Is that a little trick of yours?
Yeah,
is it, or-
sometimes, because you know, odd times there's the better fish in that, they'll sit behind that. If you notice, Matt, as well, I've got quite a bit of bristle out.
Yeah, you have, haven't you?
This sort of method, because it's this time of year, and there's a lot of blips about, what I call blips, which are small fish. And because we're still just hooking, like big hook in the meat, which I'll show you in a minute, when you fish with a full bristle out, you're just waiting for that positive bite.
So you're waiting for the old bristle
Yeah,
to whack under.
yeah, that's
and-
right. You know, we don't dibs and dabs like that. You know, we just leave, just waiting for a real proper bite.
Already, Adam, you've described 2 or 3 little things like leaving your bristle showing, fishing just on the edge of your bait. So it's these small things that make a big difference, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tactic. You know, we're looking at catching quite a few big weights of silvers today. I don't think there's perhaps so many carp about, you know, because we haven't seen any, but
Looks like a nice fish.
catch these big weights of silvers, we're fishing a very positive rig in the circumstances. Perhaps for what size fish we are catching, you know, people might think that perhaps the tactics that they see, that I'll show you, you know, in a minute, they'll think, well, that's pretty of a gun. What the difference is with that is perhaps that fish was 6 or 8 ounce.
Yeah.
If we were fishing smaller hooks, smaller baits, especially this time of year with this tactic, you'd probably catch a 4 ounce fish.
And I mean, 8 ounce plopping in your keep net, it's all good,
you
isn't
know,
it?
every chuck with a bit of luck, and that's probably a small fish on this tactic.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we're looking to catch a few skimmers, odd F1. You know, might catch a road carp if there's a few about.
Fingers crossed. I've seen 1 or 2 cruising about on the surface, so maybe they'll move in.
The main thing is that you're striking at the right indication.
Yeah.
You could sit there, and obviously you don't want to pick your rig up. You don't want to be picking your rig out all the time. Little ding. If it's a proper bite with a full bristle, 9 out of 10 you pick up and your elastic's on.
Yeah.
Your elastic's out, fish on.
You're not wasting any time whatsoever.
No,
are
you need to be efficient. You know, you're trying to put together big weights of silvers.
And would you expect your peg to get stronger? I mean, Neil's gone in and caught some big chub and some big F1s from the start. Are you worried about him catching well to start
No,
with?
I think this will cut. It's already showing signs. There's bubbles. You know, I think as the day goes on, the fish will get bigger. We'll catch some skimmers. We'll catch some F1s, and hopefully I'll try and pick him up. There's still a lot of them size fish about, Matt.
But you're building away already, aren't you?
Yeah, just, you know, and that's the beauty of this with this method. You know, I'll be looking to catch twice as many fish as Neil.
Yeah.
And then like 1 in 3 will be a pan, skimmer, an F1. You know.
Hopefully a 12-pound carp.
Yeah.
along the way.
I'm sure. Well, I don't know whether I'm that lucky, but I'm sure if one's about,
We'll have him. We're well into the match now, folks, and it's very difficult to say who's winning at the moment. Neil took a clear lead. He started fishing pellets, shallow on the pole, caught some big chub, an odd F1, and there's been an odd big carp swimming about as well, so he only needs to catch 1 or 2 of them and they'll really boost his weight. Adam, on the other hand, had a little bit slower start. He started on the waggler, and at first I thought, maybe it's not the right sort of tactics for the day, but he's changed to his shorter pole line that he's been priming with a bit of loose fed meat, a little bit of M.a.p, and now he's catching really quickly. He's catching all sorts of different fish, roach, rudd, an odd skimmer. He's had 1 or 2 F1s as well, and I can see him really amassing a weight, so it's a really close one to call at the minute, but I'm going to say Neil's just nicking the lead. But there's a lot to play for. They've both been feeding the margin swims, and I'm sure that they'll change tactics, and who knows what could happen.
So as we're coming into the last hour of the match, Matt, what I'm doing is I'm trying. It's not as good as it was, but there's still fish to be had. And there's a little bit of breeze picked up, but we're using it as a gauge now. What we're doing is I'm looking at Adam, and wherever he's catching small fish, and I know I'm in front, I don't need to gamble. I can just keep putting fish in the net.
Playing it safe.
Yeah,
keep topping your weight up.
Yeah, but having said that, I'm still keeping the edge peg primed. Yeah, you can't afford not to feed it. Now, if Adam goes down his edge and catches a couple of big ones, then I've got to have a look. But wherever I'm in front, I can stay in front by doing this.
Brilliant. Well, Adam, I can see that you've had a little bit of a change of tactics now. It looks like you're fishing on the bottom, are you? Have you gone deeper, or?
Yeah, I've just gone straight down onto deck, Matt.
Okay, what's prompted you to do that?
Well, I fed the edge a while back, and about an hour or so ago,
Yeah.
I turned around and saw some swirls, saw some tails down the edge. So I've gone in, caught one, 8-9 pound.
Great big one, first chuck in?
Great big and first chuck in.
Nice.
And there was some more there, but I just couldn't catch him.
Interesting.
So I've come back out shallow, as we were doing earlier, and I think the time I've spent that edge, I've sort of neglected it, you know, feeding my shallow line.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously Neil's caught one a chuck basically all day. So I've just started throwing double handfuls of meat, some M. You know how I've thrown that M this morning?
Yeah, so you've upped the feed rate.
Yeah, up the feed rate.
Is that to sort of push the fish down a little bit more, try and pin them to the bottom?
Yeah, and obviously, you know, I threw that M pin this morning, you know, while I was fishing shallow. Seems to, you know, done some good, and they've settled on it. And you know, the last hour or so, I've had a good run on the deck, catching skimmers and roach and rudd. I've had quite a big barbel, so you know, it's picking up.
We're into the closing stages of the match now, folks, and what an exciting day it's been. It's going to be a really hard match to call. Neil's just playing a big fish now. Adam's struggled to start with, but he's come back mega strong. He's changed to fishing on the bottom, upped his feed, and his final hour's been hectic, so the clock's ticking. We've got a few seconds left, and then I'm going to give it the big all out. All out, boys! There we go, let's go and see what they've got. Adam's here with his first weigh. I'll tell you what, it might be a little bit more than we first anticipated in there. Is this your big fish net, Adam? Or?
Yeah, that's the biggest net.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to make the call. I'm going to be generous, Adam. I'm going to give you £48, 14 ounces.
Lovely job.
Well done, mate. That's your first weigh. Here we go. This is Adam's second weigh. There's a lot more than I thought in there, silverfish. I'll tell you what, there's more than there looks. I'm going to give it £53 exactly. Well done, Adam. We've got £48.14 and £53 exactly, so I make that £101.14 ounce.
Cheers, Matt, thank you.
Did you think you got that much?
No, not quite, but
Excellent net of fish.
we'll soon find out.
Awesome, mate. Now, better go and get Neil weighed in, haven't we? Here we go. This is Neil's first weigh-in. I tell you what, it's heavy. Now that's Neil's first weigh, and I make it £47 9 ounces. Well done, mate. You want to slip them back? Yeah. Now this is Neil's second weigh, and what a cracking net of fish it is again. Lots of big chub, and I make that £46 11 ounces.
And what's that so far?
Ooh, I make it £94 4 ounce so far, and you've still got some fish to weigh in, so you need around £8 to better Adam. So let's see what they weigh.
Okay.
Right, Neil, so you need around £8 to beat Adam, and I think it's fair to say you've done it, as I'm struggling to lift it. And the magic number is, on the third weigh, £41 10 ounces.
Well done, Neil.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Adam.
What an awesome net of fish. Well done, boys.
Thank you.
Well done, pal.
Thank you. Good close match.
Well done, Adam. It's been an absolute pleasure
Yeah.
to watch both of you.
Interesting day. You've had mainly skimmers, I've had mainly chub. Two different contrasting styles. Great days fishing.
So, Neil, you've ended with £135 14 ounce.
Thank you, Matt.
I think that is it's a fantastic day and well deserved win.
Well done, pal.
Put these back.
Flip them back to fight another day. There we go, folks. What a fantastic end to a super day's fishing here at Partridge Lakes. Neil's won the day with £135 14 ounces, but Adam has still had a really respectable £101 14. Neil's booked himself an early draw in the final on the 6th episode. We look forward to seeing you next time on Absolute Match Fishing.